Hello and welcome back to Football Spy. I'm Steve Stammers of the Sunday Mirror. Now, there's no doubt about where the most frantic transfer activity will be centred during the last 2 weeks of the transfer window. Portsmouth, no question. The queues at Fratton Park used to be for season tickets as the club were booming under Harry Redknapp. Now it's the players who are in line, all wanting to leave. Okay, so there was some good news for the supporters. Danny Shittu, a formidable centre-back, and Gavin McCann, a combative midfielder, are on their way to the south coast on loan from Bolton. But the taxi that drops them off might just as well hang around. David James apparently wants to leave, as does Sylvain Distin, and quite clearly after his performance against Fulham on Saturday, does Nico Kranjčar. James, the first-choice goalkeeper of England manager Fabio Capello, believes his World Cup chances will be harmed playing behind the less than formidable Portsmouth back line. Now, I'd have thought the opposite was true. If he stays, there'll be practice galore for James at Portsmouth this season. Aston Villa didn't have the most auspicious start to the season by losing at home to Wigan on Saturday. Apparently, Martin O'Neill now wants to boost his squad with Tottenham's Jermaine Jenas and, more good news for the taxi drivers here, David Bentley. Chelsea fans will be staggered by the news that Claudio Pizarro is on his way to Werder Bremen in Germany. Staggered because they didn't realise he was a Chelsea player in the first place. No one's seen him or heard of him for yonks. Also news of a further step down the ladder for Francis Jeffers. Now, you might remember Francis Jeffers when he got into the Everton first team as a teenager, and he really looked the real deal. But he didn't enjoy the best of luck with injuries after his move to Arsenal. Then came Charlton, Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, and you must get the trend by now, and it's not an upward curve. So not the biggest surprise that the next port of call for the Fox in the box is Doncaster. Now, if Portsmouth are staging a fire sale, West Ham are not far behind. Matthew Hudson seemed to pave the way for his departure from Upton Park with his "if there's an offer, I'll have to consider it" speech after the Holland-England match. Now, James Collins is on his way to Stoke, while Callum Davenport is strongly linked with Nottingham Forest. Upson, I would reckon Tottenham or Everton. Sol Campbell to Newcastle. I can't see that personally. This is the club that Mike Ashley couldn't give away, and standing manager Chris Hughton is unaware on a daily basis who is going to be sold next. Probably won't have to worry about that on the Joey Barton front. Barton, by all accounts, was a tad upset about being substitute at West Bromwich Albion 2 weeks ago, but the consolation is that it's better to be on the bench than in front of it. Now, no transfer roundup will be complete without a Joleon Lescott update. Rarely has there been so much debate about, and let's be honest, a decent but hardly outstanding central defender. Everton manager David Moyes has got the hump, clearly. And he's also got red hair and an icy stare, both of which say, don't even think about it. His anger is directed at Manchester City and the way they've tried to prize Lescott away. Their manager is Mark Hughes, who in his time as a player was not known as a man to take prisoners. He may have trouble keeping his feet these days. If you watch the video clip of the post-match at Blackburn when he went to hug Sam Allardyce and fell over, you'll see what I mean. But he's not one that you would voluntarily take on. So how about this for a solution? Pit Moyes against Hughes in the boxing ring. It would be a sellout, no question. And it's a winner-take-all. Moyes wins, Lescott stays, and City must pay a forfeit. Something like the £22 million they'd offered for Lescott. Hughes wins, and City get Lescott with the option to sell him back if he proves not to be the world beater that they think he is. Well, that's all we've got time for on today's Football Spy, but don't forget you can keep up to date with all the latest football news at mirrorfootball.co.uk/news. See you next time.